So the whole conflict in California is that Newsom and the mayor do not want the National Guard in California, right? Mm-hmm. Because they say since Newsom didn't ask for the Guard, then Trump can't send the Guard, according to Newsom. And so now Newsom is suing Trump for sending out the Guard. Unfortunately, like most of these woke idiots, Newsom doesn't know his history. Because in 1957, in Little Rock, Arkansas, the governor of that state, Fabouz, used the National Guard to try to stop 9 Black children from going to Central High School. And Eisenhower said, oh, no, you cannot use the National Guard to stop children from being educated. That is a detriment to Americans. And so now I'm going to send the 101st Airborne to make sure that those children go to school.
Nice.
And here's a little bit of history for you.
My name is John Bandy. I am First Sergeant of ABU Company, 1st Battalion, 327th Infantry Regiment. Today is 25 September, and it is the 60th anniversary of the deployment of the 1st Airborne Battle Group, 327th Infantry Regiment to Little Rock, Arkansas. Their mission was to oversee the integration of 9 Black African-American students into Central High School, an all-white school. What ended up happening in the state of Arkansas was the governor at the time, Governor Faubus, decided that he was not going to comply with the federal ruling. What he did at the beginning of that school year was enact the National Guard to provide a blockade against what he felt was federal overreach and trying to push an agenda. What really hits home for me is that I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I grew up knowing the story of the Little Rock Nine, and as a child, all I knew is that Army soldiers came to town with weapons to walk 9 teenagers into high school. When I became a member of this organization and I started to look into the history of the regiment and I looked into the history of this battalion and I started to learn the history of ABU Company, my company, I was struck with a sense of awe. I get to be a member of this organization. I get to be a member of some of the greatest Americans that have ever lived. The mission was significant because it showed the utmost loyalty and duty and professionalism of the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division. It was a display of the highest commitment of loyalty, duty, honor, and integrity that I believe exists in history today. Being a member of this organization makes me proud to get to say that I'm part of this history and this legacy. Lieutenant Colonel retired Bill Robbins actually got me in contact with Bob Press. And I was actually able to contact him and get some of the story of Operation Arkansas from him.
The President of the United States put out a directive, and it was the governor of one of his states openly defied his order. And it was not a crazy, off-the-wall order. And a governor, in activating his National Guard to enforce his belief of non-integration, had to be countered. And it was countered in about as forceful a manner as you could do, with as little physical damage done in Little Rock. It just seemed like this would not have happened if he'd have accepted it and used his National Guard to ensure that these children were given the proper education the way they should have. Integration was a part of life, and the necessity of federal troops in that force being necessary to get 9 children to class, even if it took another battle group, it would have been worth it. They took us very seriously, and I think if we'd have went down here and with a company-sized unit, it might not have been taken as seriously as sending an entire battle group and coming down here with fixed bayonets. They knew that we were there to impose the directive from the President of the United States and make sure it was followed. Escorting the children to the classes, to their homes, gave the people of Little Rock a very clear impression that there wasn't going to be any deviation from the order.
Nice. That was a great one. This is true. And anyway, Newsom lost today. So while Trump was speaking to the army, the Supreme Court, I guess, came down and ruled in his favor.
I don't know if it was the Supreme Court.
Well, whatever court. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it was probably a federal
Maybe the
court,
state Supreme
California
Court.
federal court. Yeah, so that's good. I didn't know that. I don't know
What
why.
happened?
So Newsom sued Trump because Trump overstepped his boundaries. But while Trump was speaking, the news reported that he won the case, and that he was allowed to do that.
I think they prepared for all of these cases. He's had 4 years. He knew what happened last time to have all their ducks in a row. I think they're really prepared.
Absolutely. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he can get away with.
And
he knows how it works now, the machinations of Washington.
we have both. We have 1957 and 1965. Both times, the president called out the National Guard because the governor was, even though they're sovereign, they were overstepping and making decisions for the greater.
Isn't that the ultimate responsibility of the federal government to keep the citizens safe?
That's correct. The number one responsibility.
Right. That's why it supposedly was created for that purpose, right?
Any government.
Agreed.
No.
Now it does all this other crap.
All right, so Jen just called me and she said that she read the comments and she's on her way to California to give Maxine Waters a mask. So she'll come in next week. Who is Commander-in-Chief? John Trump. Commander-in-Chief. Anybody disagree?
No, know the law. Know the law.
Okay. Let's see. Trump called Newsom. Trump showed his phone. Yeah, to John Roberts. It was a couple of hours on the phone. Yeah. News, they're all lying. We all know that they're lying. So, they're preaching to the choir. The thing is, what do they think they're going to get out of this?
I don't know. These riots are just insane, and they're on the wrong side again, these Democrats.
Again.
Maxine was, I was there. Nothing happened. There was no violence. No one got shot. No one got hurt. Right? She said that's what a liar.
Well, let's see.
I hope they track every one of them down and everyone gets arrested.
Well, they tracked down this guy. Watch.
This is getting hundreds of thousands of views, and you can see why. Every throw he does is attempted murder. Throwing rocks at moving cars. Insane if he gets away with that. What sick people. They're trying to kill someone.
This is crazy.
Unbelievable.
Are we in for another summer of love? 2020 was the end of his term. Are we having 3.5 years of this?
Well, that's what they're trying to do, right? And so that was the guy throwing the rocks was identified by the FBI and Pam Bondi as El Pidio Reyna. They haven't caught him yet. They have gone to his house and searched it. They are finally in search of who is actually behind all this and who's funding it.
Yes.
But the problem that we have is that, once again, the news media, they're in on this. They are absolutely in on this.
Do you have a clip, Dee? Do you have a clip that just shows them all denying that any of this is happening?
No, but I have this clip.
So hard.
I have this clip. Listen to
Let's
this.
see.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
What did he say?
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Having fun watching cars burn.
Yeah.
That's
No,
So why doesn't Newsom drive his car into there, let them throw cinder blocks at him, and set his car on fire?